Good afternoon. This is Mariana Mitchell, and this is my second presentation where today we're going to discuss some of the founding fathers of public administration and their early theories in modern practice in today's everyday workplace. So first off, we'll discuss scientific management. This is Frederick W. Taylor's idea that through time studies that we could increase the speed while increasing quality through the decrease of cost and the decrease of wasted time and wasted materials, which would lead to an overall increase in a bottom line. So now this was directed primarily to the manufacturing industry. However, it could definitely be utilized in a number of other industries throughout management. So this may have led to some wary ideas that automation may replace workers. However, the intention wasn't meant to replace workers or the human element in any means. It was intended to take over some of the menial, more repeated tasks in order to free up employees to be more creative and innovative in the workplace. So looking at scientific management, there's been some renewed interest in scientific management, especially here in California, where we're going to be experiencing some increased cost of doing business in the form of a minimum wage mandate. So here in California, minimum wage is currently $10.50. However, it's intended to go up to $15 by 2022. Now, the intention is meant so that every resident in the state of California can earn a living wage. However, this is going to have some major impacts on not only businesses, but also the cost of living. And there's a number of organizations that are looking to be proactive to find ways to counteract the increase of wages in the business workplace. So we'll see a number of organizations such as restaurants or fast food restaurants that are looking for ways to automate some of the more menial tasks. You'll start to see kiosks at a number of our restaurants. You'll see that Panera now has a fast lane kiosk instead of waiting in line to order your food. A number of restaurants have mobile ordering apps. Starbucks has their mobile ordering app where you place your order and simply pick up. These are not intended to take the place of the front desk clerk or to take the place of the individual that's still going to be behind the counter making your food, but it's intended to create efficiency in ways that will now help an organization adjust for the extra wages they're going to have to be paying by allowing them to do other work aside from counting change or allowing them to again, function at a higher level. So scientific debt management is definitely at work in today's business as well as a number of other industries, and continues to be at work as we're always looking for better ways of doing what we do and easier ways to increase efficiency, reducing cost. So definitely something we're going to see in the future as well. Moving on, we've got Max Weber's ideal bureaucracy. This is something that spoke very highly to me as somebody who currently works in public administration, and specifically because I've moved over into the human resources field. Looking at the things that create an ideal bureaucracy under Max Weber's idea, and these are all things that I really wish that every single one of our employees or everybody who works in public administration had a good understanding of, because it really does help us understand what the intention behind an ideal bureaucracy, how we function as an administration, and what it means for us to be able to practice at this level. So again, looking at things like the division of labor, a number of people think that, oh, they just want to pigeonhole me in one area, and that's not what it is. It's we're looking for expertise in certain areas so that the people that are in those jobs are capable of doing those jobs and they're capable of doing them well. The hierarchy of command isn't because there's one person who's the boss of everybody, but it's because we want clear and decisive lines that they know exactly who to go to if they need something, a question answered. The rules and regulations aren't intended to impede any single process, but are meant to be the roadmap for an organization to know how to get things done. When we're looking at the appointment of people to our jobs, we're looking at their skills, their abilities, and their knowledge, because that's what's important. We want the best and the brightest in every single one of our positions in order to keep things moving forward. And seniority doesn't play a factor in that, and who you know shouldn't play a factor in that, because again, we're looking at what's best for the organization. And then also impersonality, I think, gets a bad rap. A lot of people think impersonality means that I can't get to know the people that I work with, or that I can't be personable, I'm cold and unapproachable, and that's not really what it means. Impersonality means that there's clear and defined lines for which employees should function. One of the biggest issues I see when we have some of our entry-level employees that move up into management level positions, they have a hard time of supervising the people that used to be their peers because of that lack of impersonality they had at that entry level. So again, the ideal bureaucracy is intended to be what bureaucracy should be, what it should be in the perfect world, and this is exactly what I use when I look at helping out my departments and my role as human resources navigate some of the difficult situations we find ourselves in. This is kind of the backbone of how we function and how we're structured, and knowing this has really helped me in my professional life when it comes to my job, what I currently do. So I've included in here the quote from Max Weber just regarding his idea of what the ideal bureaucracy should lead to, and the fact that he uses words like precision and speed and unambiguity. Those are all things that are opposite, I think, of what people think bureaucracy is today. So again, in a perfect world, if everybody understood exactly how it should happen, this would be one of the best ways to describe public administration. So moving forward, what bureaucracy is today, it's definitely not what Max Weber had intended. When you look at bureaucracy, when you're looking for other ways to describe bureaucracy, you get things like red tape. A lot of people think bureaucracy is red tape, an overabundance of paperwork. They think of clogged lines and things not functioning. And I've got this cartoon in here that you're kind of like wading your way through the weeds or through the swamp just to get to where you need to go. And this is the bad rap bureaucracy has gotten in today's world, because I truly believe that bureaucracy got this way because somebody in their position of power has abused it in one way or another, abused it based on their privilege or their current position, and because of that, we've reacted in a way that created bureaucracy. I've got some personal experience working for a small city, working for a new city, working for an old city, working for big city, and each one of these cities are vastly different in their levels of administration based on what their experiences are. I always say you don't need a form until something happens, and then you have to create a form to make sure it doesn't happen again. Same thing with laws and processes and procedures, which creates kind of this overabundance of bureaucracy. So I definitely think this is something we can work on as an agency or as public administrators. How can we reel some of this back in so that we can get back to what Max Weber had truly intended about public administration and the ideal bureaucracy? So this is my personal opinion, but I definitely believe that we could definitely work on this. So moving forward, I really feel that as a public administrator, it's our duty to learn from our founding fathers and to learn from their early theories, and then also to bring it all together, to understand what Wilson had intended with his dichotomy, and that politics and administration, although separate, with what Goodenow says, the politics definitely do drive the administration. And Henry Fayol's principle of management, these are all things that we utilize as public administrators in our management style, and learning how to get work done through others. That's definitely what he had intended. And then also Mary Parker Follett's idea that working with others as opposed to over others is important when it comes to teamwork and getting things accomplished as an organization. I definitely enjoy that cartoon down in the bottom where you have the boss dictating orders, and then you have the leader who's leading by example. That speaks very highly of how I believe I like to manage my team. So again, it's our job as public administrators to learn from the past, to look to the future, and definitely using all of these tools to bring it all together to make a better organization for the public that we serve. So again, this brings us brings us to the close of my presentation. I've got some additional resources here. I've got some websites, some videos that I actually do think will help with the understanding of the ideal bureaucracy, as well as the fear that automation will take away all of our jobs. One video is by the Khan Academy, and it just kind of overviews the ideal bureaucracy, some of the good points and some of the bad points that, again, will help people understand bureaucracy, where it was, what was intended, and where it is now. And then also there's a TED Talk talking about the automation of jobs and what that means for us as a administration, what it means for us in the future, that I think you'll find interesting and entertaining if you have the time to view those. So again, I thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate any and all feedback that you have to offer. So again, I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a good day.